Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are going to present about factors affecting the prevalence of obesity among public university students. We are from class CS143 5A. So this is our group member Nur Amni binti Abdul Rahim, Nur Aina Hazwani binti Zaidi, Hanis Nafisah binti Razali, and Siti Nur Farisha binti Abdul Razak. First, for introduction, in Malaysia, 30.4% of adults are reported to be overweight and 19.7% are considered to be obesity according to 2019 National Health and Morbidity Survey report. Obesity is a medical disease in which a person's body develops an excessive amount of body fat. In other words, obesity is a high impaired non-ideal body type. Obesity is caused by a variety of circumstances. One of them is eating a lot of food that are high in fat and carbohydrates. Consuming fast food such as sausage, chicken nugget, hamburgers, and pizza is another factor in obesity. This study was carried out to assist the population in becoming more conscious of the food they consume on a regular basis. As a result, this study can help tackle Malaysia's obesity problems. Next, problem statement. Obesity is becoming more common in developing countries like Malaysia. Malaysia is one of the Asian nations with the highest rate of obesity when compared to other Asian nations. Another contributing factor that leads to a BMI that is outside of the optimum range is a lack of knowledge and ignorance about the advantage of adopting a healthy diet. The nutritional status of the Malaysian population as a whole has been shown to be significantly influenced by high-quality dietary and physical activity practice. They must be aware of important facts such as how to maintain a healthy diet, eat a balanced diet, and other things in order to lessen the problem of obesity. In general, there is some connection between eating patterns, food preference, and general health. Students at university need to eat nutritiously as they move from childhood to adulthood. One of the most prevalent issues university students deal with is poor eating habit, which increase the chance of developing future illness as well as present health issues. Now I will tell about objective. In this project, we have two objectives, which is for the first objective is to identify the factor affecting the prevalence of obesity among public university students. For the second objective is to compare the difference between eating habit and body mass index, which is BMI, among public university students. Next, I will tell about the significance of study. The researcher can utilize the data from this study to identify and examine the proportion of respondents who have obesity-related issues, as well as to address more serious health issues among university students that may be brought on by obesity. Secondly, this study is expected to make the community aware, always take care of health, and improve the quality of life to stay healthy. The findings of this research will benefit the students as they will have a better understanding of the prevalence of obesity. For limitation of the study, from this study we experienced a few problems where this study requires a large sample size. Therefore, it is difficult for us to collect data in a short time with a large sample size.
For the research methodology, so I will tell you The detail about the population, sample and the sample size. Based on our study where we conduct a study of the public university students, for the population, the target population of our study is 168,831 students in the Malaysia, including the 4 selected university. For the university, from all the university in the Malaysia become a sample for our study where University Putra Malaysia UPM, University Malaysian Police UNIMAP, University Technology Malaysia UTM, and the last one University Malaysia Kelantan UMK. For each university, we only select random students to determine the factor that affect the prevalence of the obesity in Malaysia. For the sample size, since our population is big, we use calculator net to calculate the sample size with a 95% confidence level. We get 384 students in 4 Malaysia university make up the sample size as a result. A cross-sectional study will be used by the researchers. Researchers use this method because we need to collect information at a specific time to access the prevalence of the obesity and identify the risk variables. Then, a quantitative cross-sectional study was used to collect the data from a respective sample of the public university students to estimate difference between eating habits and the BMI. Next, for the sampling method, multi-stage sampling is defined as a method of the sampling that distributes the population into clusters or groups so as to conduct our research.
Data collection method. We distribute our questionnaire through online using the Google form to the respondent. The respondent that we choose is among the student among the public university in Malaysia, but we just select a student from 4 IPTA. The respondent that answer this question are student aged between 18 until 40 years old. And then we also accept the respondent from the student that has a disease, student that has a history of poor health, healthy student, and student with the different marital status. And then our questionnaire has divided into 2 sections. First section is section A. Section A contains a demographic survey, which is background information about respondent. And then for the second section is section B. Section B contains 5 categories, which is for the first category is background of the respondent and his family affect the prevalence of obesity among public university students in Malaysia. For the second category is eating habit of respondent to study whether it affect obesity or not. For the third category is how often the respondent does physical activity. And then for the fourth category is the respondent perception of weight and obesity. And then for the fifth category is respondent are easily influenced or not by the food advertisement seen on social media will be a factor in prevalence of obesity. Data analysis. For descriptive statistics, we collect the data quantitatively. And then based on the online survey question that we distribute, our respondents are asked to answer the questionnaire that consists of yes or no question. And for the subjective question, the student needs to put their own answer based on the question. So that calculation for mean will be calculated. And then the total for each category also will be calculated. Then we compare each factor list to the listed to see the result for the highest mean. And then when we know the highest mean, it shows that which factor are main factor for the obesity among students. And then we also calculate the demographic characteristic for the gender, public university, and BMI to obtain the frequency and the percentage. Inferential statistics, we use one-way analysis of variance, that is ANOVA. We compare the difference between eating habit and BMI among the public university students. we use this ANOVA. We use the ANOVA in this situation because we want to find the difference of numerical data among more than two groups like BMI. The association between total eating habit and BMI among students at the public university will be examined using a statistical test. Table 1. Descriptive statistic for factor affecting the prevalence of obesity. Our respondents are 384. For the variable public university, among 4 public university, the highest percentage is 27.86, and the respondent is 107 from the University Technology Malaysia UTM. And then for the variable gender, the highest percentage is 55.73. That is with the respondent is 214. The gender is a female. And then for the body mass index BMI, the highest percentage is among the 5 category. The highest is normal. With the percentage is 36.72, and the respondent is 141. And the second highest is with the percentage is 32.81, and the respondent is 126, and there is overweight. Among 4 total, the highest is total participation with the mean is 3.23, and the standard deviation is 1.12. Figure 1. A bar chart showing distribution of respondents according to public university. Among 4 public university, the highest percentage is University Technology Malaysia UTM with the percentage is 27.86%, and then followed by the University Malaysia Kelantan UMK with the percentage is 24.22%, and then with the same percentage for is 23.96% for both university is University Malaysia Perlis UNIMAP and University Putra Malaysia UPM. Figure 2. A bar chart showing distribution of respondents according to the gender. For the gender between a male and a female, the highest is a female with the percentage is 55.73%, and then followed by the male with the percentage is 44.27%.
This bar chart shows the distribution of respondents according to BMI. BMI of respondents are distributed into 5 categories, which are underweight, normal, overweight, obese, and extremely obese. From this graph, we found that most of respondents' BMI are normal since their percentage is 36.72%. It was followed by overweight 32.81%. Next, there are 15.63% among the respondents having problem with obese. Furthermore, 8.33% among the respondents have underweight problem. Lastly, another respondent who have problem with extremely obese the least among all respondents, which is only 6.51%. Figure 4 shows a histogram of test score for 384 students, and all histograms above are normal distribution. This figure is to know the affecting the prevalence of obesity among public university students. Figure 4a shows the highest score for total eating habit is 3.00, which is 163 of respondents. Next, for 4b, which is total physical activities, the higher mark is 0.00 for 130 of respondents. In addition, for 4c is the highest score for total perception towards obesity is 4.00, which is 146 respondents. Lastly, figure 4d for total food advertisement, the highest score is 3.00 for 137 of respondents.
Based on Table 2 and Table 3, the post-hoc analysis was carried out through the Kemp's-Howell method because the equality of variance was not assumed in conducting one-way ANOVA. Based on the comparison of the mean total score for eating habits, there was significant difference in mean total eating habits between extremely obese and normal, extremely obese and underweight, normal and obese, normal and overweight, obese and underweight, overweight and underweight. This is because the p-value for the comparison was less than 0.05. A subsequent post-hoc test using Kempf-Howell was performed to detail the result. It was found that the mean total score eating habits between BMI were statistically significantly different. We observed higher mean total eating habits among extremely obese as compared to normal, obese, underweight, and overweight. This is the mean plot of mean total eating habits between BMI. We use one-way ANOVA in this figure. It was found that at least one of total score has significant difference on BMI, that is total eating habits. In conclusion, population that does not give priority to physical activity as an important lifestyle involvement. It is important to create prevention and early action to ensure that students in every public university are healthy. As we can see, perception and eating habits are the main factors that contribute to obesity among students in public universities. So, it was found that the mean total score eating habits between BMI were statistically significantly different. Our study suggests that developing health policy by university on healthy diet and nutrition adds impact to health and well-being among the students.